Please introduce yourself and tell briefly what you are known for.
Hello, I am Don Rania. I watched Jim Henson grow up in Stoneville, Leland, Mississippi. He is famously known for creating the Muppets, and he also made many, many movies. Wait, let me check my phone real quick. Good, that was his ghost texting me.
Since you grew up with Jim, why don't you tell us a little bit about his childhood, growing up, his education? Was there anything in his early life that was a clue to what he would eventually do?
So, as I mentioned before, he grew up in Stoneville, Leland, Mississippi. He was born on September 24th, 1936. His dad worked for the agricultural department studying soybeans. He just went to a normal public school. Jim Henson, when he was younger, also was part of Boy Scouts. He did his first puppet show with his friend Gordon. His grandmother helped him create Kermit the Frog out of an old green sweater.
This interview was sponsored by Shrooms and Apples, the cereal. They're crunchy, sweet, and filled with vitamins.
Hey Kermit, why don't you tell us about any obstacles or hardships that Jim Henson faced and had to overcome to achieve what he did?
Jim Henson had to cope with Paul, his brother's death. The way he coped was by doing double the work, as if he were living for Paul and himself. He worked as a puppeteer at that time when Paul died. So he worked on all of his TV shows and movies a lot.
Tell about any interesting events or accomplishments that Jim Henson is most proud of or remembered for.
Jim Henson met two Kermits. That is an interesting fact. One of which is Kermit Love he met while he was doing puppeteer work. A big event in Jim Henson's life was making the Muppets and Sesame Street with his crew. The Muppets and Sesame Street, well, mostly Sesame Street, was aimed at lower and middle class children who couldn't afford to have an education. It taught the kids how to spell and read numbers and words.
Can you please talk about Jim Henson's end of life?
Yes, of course. Jim Henson died from a rare type of Streptococcus pneumonia. When he was 53 years old, he died. He died on May 16, 1990. Early in the morning, he had severe breathing problems. He refused to go to the hospital because he had a mother who believed in Christian Science. His friend Jane thought that was why he refused to go to the hospital. But at 4 a.m., he went to the hospital because it was only getting worse. But it was too late. He died later that day. So, he also worked for the Boy Scouts. Wait, worked for? Oh no.